Hey everybody, Dr. Misek here. You know, many people think that chiropractic care is just for adults. And although the majority of my patients are adults, a chiropractor's education extends to all facets of life, including infancy and childhood. Now, just like adults, children have bones, muscles, tendons, ligaments, and joints. In essence, they're mini versions of ourselves. So, they too need tending to from time to time to make sure that they're developing correctly. So today we're going to talk about 3 phases that are critical in a child's first year of life and explain how chiropractic can affect so much of their development. Now, of course, the first phase of their life is birth, and although it can be a very natural process, it can be also very traumatic for not only mom but for the baby. You know, at a moment's notice, they're laying in that womb nice and warm, and all of a sudden they're asked to come out into this world. So there's a lot of forces taking place upon the body, pushing and pulling and twisting. And even with a good normal birth, there's a lot of trauma and stress placed upon that new one's spine. Now, if the birth is a little bit more difficult and there's the necessity to use forceps or vacuum delivery, we put an extended amount of stress upon the neck and the upper back, and of course the head. Now, one of the first things that we see in an infant that we know that there's a possible neck problem is that they're not turning their head, or they've turned to one side and they won't turn to the opposite side. We may even see, you know, a child not preferring one side over the other if they're breastfeeding. And we might even see a development of a flat spot on the back of their head. And that's because they're laying on one side for too long. Now, that's a condition we call torticollis. And that can be easily assessed and managed with gentle chiropractic care. So we always encourage moms and dads, if you see that, if you see those types of symptoms, to make sure you give us a call, bring them in, and let's get them checked. The next critical phase in their life is when they start to crawl. And, you know, because they don't want to get a rug burn on their forehead, they start to develop the neck muscles in the back portion of the neck. It's at that time we start to develop and initiate the normal curves that take place in the spine, particularly in the neck and in the lower back. So we start to develop those 2 major curves. We also start to develop nerve pathways in the brain of coordination as they start to crawl, moving that arm and leg forward, very complex neurologic pathways. We want to make sure that at this point in their life, we get them checked periodically to make sure that those pathways are developing normally. And of course, the last phase within that year is when they start to learn to walk. Boy, they're getting up and they're starting to go out and explore this wonderful world that we have. And, you know, with that, they're going to fall. And they're going to fall not only once or twice, but they're going to fall hundreds of times. Now, I know as parents and as grandparents, we look at that and we start to laugh and giggle and we think it's funny. But those are all little traumas that can add up to bigger problems down the road. So it's critical during this time that we make sure that that child's alignment is going in the right direction. Because, believe it or not, these little falls and traumas can be cumulative. And we can start to develop curvatures of the spine that will not necessarily show up at that point, but we'll see it down the road, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years down the road. And that's when we start to see scoliosis or curvatures developing. So it's critical during that first year of life that we make sure that those kids are developing normally and that there's proper alignment. And that's what chiropractic care does for those folks. We give them periodic assessments. We just make sure that everything's in alignment and that the normal natural process of growing up is unimpeded by spinal misalignments and misalignments and improper curves. So we encourage moms and dads to come on and get their kids checked periodically. Stop on and give us a call. We love to see the kids. We want to make sure that they're growing properly and that they have a great future ahead of them. So if you've liked this video, make sure you like it and share it. If you have any comments, drop them in the comment box below. But again, we love to see your children, and we hope to have them on the road to health as soon as we can. So until next time, good health to you.